Have you ever been walking down the street and the smell of barbecue coming from a local restaurant just catches your attention? The sweet, sweet hickory smells. Delectable. And you think to yourself, I think I'm going to give this place a try. So you find this little restaurant, beautiful design, settled in, not very noticeable, but you could tell it's a small town joint. You walk in, you get seated, the management's friendly and talkative to you. You receive your menu. You think to yourself, the management's super friendly, the layout here is very impeccable, and the smell is so delectable. This is going to be the greatest. But as you look at your menu, it's bare. Why is my menu so empty? You advertise yourself as a barbecue restaurant, but you offer maybe a handful of options even related to barbecue. I see here maybe 2 or 3 barbecue plates and a few sandwiches, but then you offer non-barbecue items. Why is there catfish, shrimp, turkey, a BLT? Why is the drink menu so bare? Why is my brew menu so bare? You do offer that you carry brews, but you only carry one type. Why is my dessert menu empty? There's only 2 items here. And where is my wait? It's been almost 5 minutes since I've been seated, and I haven't even been helped yet. You see, these are all different questions that I've asked myself recently when I visited a local restaurant in my hometown of Newnan, Georgia. Dunk's Barbecue, settled in on Jackson Street right next to the University of West Georgia's Newnan campus. It's been serving the Newnan area for 25 years, and I'd actually like to see it serve that area much longer. Gusteau'S, because you deserve the best. You see, here at Gusteau'S, we've been a family-owned and operated business for about 10 years, founded by me and my cousins, and we got the inspiration for our lovely name from a movie we watched growing up as kids. You see, the Pixar movie Ratatouille had a very well-renowned chef named Gusteau'. He was the best in the world and helped his crew become what they were. And after watching this movie and thinking upon it, we said, we want to help industries become the best. We want to help the corporations that come to us be the best that they can be. Why don't we be the Gusteau of our world? And voila, consulting was born. You see, here at Gusteau, for the past 10 years, we've traveled around small and large businesses and sat down with their operators and staff. And we asked them specifically these types of questions. What are your strengths and what are your weaknesses? Now, that's a question not many people would like to answer because it's a very intimidating and threatening one to some. But let me tell you the truth. It is not to hurt you. It is to help you. Because you see, once we know your strengths, we can build upon that. What you do best, perfect. Let's tweak it a little bit like this to be even better. But your weaknesses, what do you do worst? We'll take those weaknesses and address them, find the issue, resolve that issue, and create new assets out of these liabilities. Don't carry these liabilities around in a very competitive market. Your industry can succeed as long as you take the proper steps. Fail to take the proper steps in this competitive industry, your company will fall. We don't want to see your company fall. We don't want to see you fail. We want to see you succeed and be nothing less than the best. Here at Gusteau'S, we value your business and will strive to make sure all your satisfactory needs are met. Like we stated before, family is everything to us. It's our founding principle, after all. And every time somebody new walks through our doors, they become a new member to our family. And like any good family member, we will do everything we can to make sure you are happy. See, experiences determine your outcome, your future. We will ensure you that every experience you have with us will lead to a bright future for you and your company. Now, I'm sure you noticed I kept bringing up the principle of family. Why is that? Well, everything here at Gusteau' is family to us. Everything we do, everything we're about, family is at the center. You're part of our family. We're going to treat you like such. Let's help each other grow. Like every good family member, we're going to steer you in the correct direction. We're not going to intently guide you in the wrong. We want to see you flourish in this booming world with such a stark competitive field. Under our guidance, I promise you, you will blossom, you will flourish, you will succeed. Join us, and let's grow together as one big family. Now. I'm sure there's one question running through your mind now. Who is this guy? And what does he think he knows about our business? Why does he think he can help us succeed? Well, my friend, my name is Trevor Meadows, and I'm one of the fun cousins of the family. And I've been in the food industry for quite some time myself, working in the kitchens, working with the customer service side. And I've seen quite a few things go down in my time that's helped me build my opinions on how to make things succeed and where the detrimental flaws within an industry can come from. So as I've stated, I've been in the restaurant industry for quite a while, and I've seen my experiences both within the back and in the front. And during my time, there are two questions that I've created to help me kind of gauge where the company stands as a whole and how to address any potential issues. The first question I usually ask myself is, how do you treat your customers and how do they feel about you? And the second question, what are you doing operationally that can be improved upon? Why do I ask these questions? Well, going to question one with, how do your customers see you? Customer service is everything. Your customers are going to talk. They're going to tell their friends about you. They're going to write reviews. If they tell their friends a negative opinion on you, they start writing negative reviews on different sites, your company's going to be looked at in a bad light, and you're going to lose potential customers. And then operationally, what's your speed of service like? If you're too slow with getting things out, things are going to come out cold. People are not going to be happy. Operationally, how's the quality of food coming out? Is it taste decent, mediocre? Does it taste horrible? Is it bland? They're going to remember these different tastes, and that's going to build an opinion on your company. We need to make sure the guests are satisfied and happy and not just getting mediocre, quick, off the mill, cold food. If your guests are happy, they're going to talk positively about you. If your guests are unhappy, they're going to talk negatively about you. We want to make sure the guest always holds you within a positive lighting. And that comes down to your customer service and your operations. These are the 2 points that I mainly focus on when it comes to addressing issues, and it's where I specialize in making sure I can address and fix and make you thrive. You see, I hate to say this, but it is true. In my time, I've witnessed several companies fall apart because they're lacking customer service and deficiency with operations. I've witnessed firsthand in my own career how lack of customer service when it comes to handling guests, it'll lead to bumps in operations, and it will lead to bumps all throughout the progress of the company for the longest time until they just kind of hit a standstill. I want to use my own experience, my own issues that I've seen arise and handled in my own career and in the times I've helped other companies to help better your company and solve these issues that may have arisen. To ensure you don't have these issues as prominent and know how to handle them properly when they should work to arise. You see, anyone can claim to be an expert in this field. For example, if you were to come to me and say if I was an expert in theoretical physics, I mean, if I could theoretically say I have a degree in physics, theoretically, and as long as I can say enough stuff that sounds like physics, you'd believe it, and I can pass off as an expert in that field. But if I'm being real, honestly, you're not an expert in anything, in my opinion, unless you've been there firsthand, experienced the issues, solved the issues, and been in the trenches the entire time. If you haven't done any of that, you've sat behind a computer screen and just talked about it, you're not an expert. You're a spectator. Short and simple. See, our competition may claim that they're experts, but in reality, they may have sat behind a computer screen like this here, or like me and you are right here, just talking about the issue. They haven't been into the issue itself. They haven't been to the store. They haven't been in the kitchen. They haven't seen how things are going. No experience at all, except it's just a computer screen. That's why coming to us, where we've been in your shoes, we know what you're thinking. We've seen the issues that you're seeing now, and we've handled these so many times. It's like we memorized it like the back of our hands. We will help you, unlike our competition, which claims they can help you. Because here at Gusteau, We ensure you are nothing less than the best. Competition can't say that. Now, the restaurant that I was helping out, as I've mentioned before, is Dunk's Barbecue. It's, again, located in Noonan, Georgia, just next to the University of West Georgia campus there on Jackson Street. It's a small, locally owned barbecue joint. It has a wait side staff that's half wait side and also does carry out and drive-through options. And they're also looking at the possibility of franchising soon. That would be a good step in the right direction for this business if they want to get their name out there. And just looking at the menu here, just to explain some of the options that they carry, I see a variety of barbecue sandwich and plate options. I see some catfish and shrimp. I also see ribs, if that's what floats your boat. Kind of getting hungry thinking about it now. They offer also offer a variety of sides here. I see some baked beans, okra, hush puppies. Can't go wrong with some hush puppies. Along with banana pudding and cheesecake. That looks good. And you see, it's a very traditional restaurant. I've been in there a few times myself just to kind of see what the place is. The layout is very family friendly. The staff is friendly. They're very communicative with you. They'll stop in. The manager himself will walk around. As long as you're in earshot, he'll be carrying on conversations with all his guests. This is like the ideal small town restaurant that you find in any of these states, cities. It's just locally owned. Everyone knows each other there. Two more establishments that can be seen as competition to Dunk's Barbecue is located both within just a mile each direction. One of which is the Yoink Joint to the south, which is located on the court square itself. And the other one, every time you think of Noonan, it comes to mind. Sprayberry's Barbecue, located to the south. Now, if you think about it, Dunk's does have the slight advantage due to the sit-down, wait-side establishment it has going for it right now. But if we look at some of the strengths and weaknesses and address what we can do better, we can make Dunk's stand out from the competition and thrive within Noonan. Now, I'm sure you're thinking to yourself, now Trevor, this is a small town, locally owned family joint. I'm sure it's spoken highly of. Well, you are correct. If you'll stick with me now, let's look over some reviews that we've gotten from some patrons recently. So let's start with a review from Ms. Linda here. She states, "We love Dunk's. The food is amazing and the owner is fantastic. They're known for their barbecue, but don't miss the catfish." You see, the friendliness and the taste, just reading this review, is commendable. That's what we want to see in a business because it's creating a positive memory of that location. Here's another review from another happy customer named Ken. Ken writes, "I was visiting a friend in Noonan, Georgia and asked where I could find some good ribs. He suggested Dunk's, so the wife and I stopped on the way out of town. The ribs were some of the best I've had. I'm heading back there this week." Here's another review by someone with the user handle HappyFire45. They state, "Everything they have is good. The brisket, the catfish, and hamburgers are a cut above. The ribs are not as fatty as everywhere, and potato salad and hush puppies are just right." Here we will start with a review from Mr. John J. He states, "It started off with ordering chicken and dumplings. I was informed that I was not available today, so I ordered a smoke and turkey sandwich with macaroni and cheese. The macaroni and cheese was okay, and the sandwich was a disappointment. Keyword, disappointment. The Texas toast was burnt, and the turkey was flavorless. The barbecue sauce labeled mild was awful. The signs outside the business said barbecue everywhere, but inside, good luck finding it anywhere. Tasteless. Burned." Going by this review, I'm seeing issues with quality of food. Here we have another review from Ms. Bailey H. And she states, "They have some really good sides. My husband loves their okra, so for his birthday we decided to get some. Paid $10 for a cup of okra, which would have been fine if they could fill it to the top. Other than that, they are good." Just looking at the photo here, another issue I can see just operation-wise is proportion size. Another review here was done by someone with the user handle 228Melanie, and they state, "Not my favorite for Noonan. Orders taken wrong. The food was cold. Terrible table service when requested. I will not be back for anything at Dunk's ever. Now, from what I can take away on this review, orders taken wrong, in terrible service, that's customer service issues, food was cold, operationally speed of service. Again, more issues that need to be addressed. So let's briefly just gaze back over these reviews. What's on the positive side, what was one thing that they all had in common? If you mentioned taste, you'd be correct. Because you see, Dunk's has found a way to make the taste of its food so prominent that it continues to be one of the talking points amongst the townsfolk. It keeps bringing customers in and makes them return. But on the negative side, one thing I noticed right off the bat from our second negative review was the portion size, customer service, speed of service. Customers feel mistreated, they don't want to come back. Would you ever want to return somewhere that you didn't feel appreciated or you were just mistreated at? I wouldn't. Why would you? If I'm dining at a restaurant and the staff just treats me like trash, I don't want to come back, and I'll tell my friends not to come there. Again, customer service can make or break a business. The portion sizes, as we saw in that one photo, if you're paying for $10 worth of okra, you should receive $10 worth of okra. No less, no more. That's how you cheat your customers. No one wants to be cheated. I wouldn't like to be cheated. I know you wouldn't like to be cheated. In speed of service, again, we see the customers talking about how the food was cold. If cold food doesn't have as well of a taste as warm food would. If you have something that's ready to be sent out but you don't take it to the table immediately, it's going to lose its flavor and it's going to lose temperature, and it could also lead to bacteria buildup due to the temperature safety zone dropping below, I believe, 140 degrees. If the temperature drops below 140 with any food product, it enters what we call a food safety zone. In that food safety zone, anywhere in the middle is considered dangerous. It has to be below either 40 degrees or above 140 to be safe. Again, speed of service. We do not want the food to get cold. We want it to stay warm for the customer to enjoy. Now, for a comparison, let's look at a review from one of the competitors, Sprayberry's. In this review, it is stated that I've been wanting to try this place because I like barbecue and I'm always curious to try new places. I prefer brisket because I'm from Texas, but I've eaten a lot of Georgia pork pig sandwiches. I liked my pork sandwich because they serve chopped meat, not pulled, and shredded pork mixed with sauce, creating something like a sloppy joe. Of course, you can get a plate of beef, pork, turkey, or chicken, and you add your own vinegar sauce. Not at all my favorite, but common in Georgia, and it works pretty well. I had a mustard-based potato salad as a side, and it was okay. My wife had the turkey sandwich, and it was large, thick slices of meat, which is desirable. Service was polite, pretty fast, and was checked up on us twice. I'd definitely go back. Let's go ahead and dissect some of the key components here. Great customer service, great speed of service, great proportion sizes, and very, very friendly staff. They wrote a pretty good review that if I was just a customer reading reviews on this place, this would compel me to go visit them. These are the kind of reviews I want to see us start forming. Now that we have covered some of the good, some of the bad, and even some of the ugly, now we can sit back and look at what we have. We have options. Let's look at some of the issues and how we can resolve them. Let's look at some of our strengths and how we can improve upon them. So over the next few slides, if you'll bear with me, I'm going to go over some recommendations that I have kind of build upon our strengths and how to fix our weaknesses. One opportunity that we have before us is utilization of community outreach. Look at some fundraising, giving back to the community, donations. Get your name out there. See, with this outreach, we can help better our name, build a better reputation with the locals, expand out to some places that aren't close by. Look at some of the cities around. We can utilize catering. We can utilize fundraising for different charities and local events. Any of these options could help better our name, to help spread the word of our company itself, and better build the reputation of the company for you. Another opportunity we have before us, as I mentioned before also, is the pathway of franchising. Just looking at some of the competition again, Sprayberry's had a franchise going for the longest time in Noonan. There was 2 stores. one located on Sprayberry Drive and the other one just off Bullsboro Drive. And that helped increase revenue and sales for the business and got the name out much more because it was expanded across the town as a whole instead of just being limited to one small section. If we look into the possibility of franchising with Dunks, we can add more storefronts to this area of the town. We can put one over here. We can even expand out of the town itself, even out of the county, and expand across the state. That would help, one, reach more of a customer base within different areas. We can adjust to say this group likes what we have more than this group, and we could focus more on adding more storefronts to this area. It'll help us not only just increase our reputation, increase our fan base, increase revenues, it gets our name out there much more than just being local to Newnan itself. A third possible option we have is relocation. Now hear me out on this. It's not a bad idea because where the current storefront sits now off Jefferson Street, it is a bad location when it comes to traffic. Getting into the parking lots can get you hit. Getting out of the drive-thrus in a weird position on the road where there's a turn coming off Jefferson onto the University Drive there, it can cause issues traffic-wise. You could possibly have accidents formed. And it sits far enough away from town in a weird location, and not many people know it's there unless they actively went looking for it. If we were to relocate to a better position within town or just away from town, but a more well-known, well-trafficked area, we can better expand our business for more foot traffic coming by our location. More people would hear from us being right there when more people travel throughout the day. And we could also, different from a franchise, but if we were to keep the same store where it is now, but add another location ran by the operator himself with 2 stores, it could also, again, increase revenue, and the operator himself would have more say in how operations are carried out, how things are handled. It would be better for the business as a name, customer service side, operation-wise, financially. It would better benefit the company and the fan base as a whole for more locations to bring in more people. Now, as we monitor some of the threats that we face as a company, one of the biggest threats that I've picked up on just looking over our reviews is the word of not wanting to come back. It's spreading that word amongst friends and family and other review sites. One of the biggest issues that result from that is the training we need to go through. Our staff's customer service may not be the best depending on some of the people. You may have different crews that are trained differently or see things differently and treat people differently, but we need to have a universal standard set. This is how customer service needs to be across the board. This is how we treat people across the board. Everyone needs to go through the same training so we can better build a reputation with our customer service amongst guests and eliminate any of the issues that may come from this. Another issue we face is speed of service. Again, as we can reference to Miss Melanie's review here, she mentions the food was cold. See, speed of service is something that can make or break a restaurant because it determines how fast we can satisfy the customer's needs. If we don't get the product out fast enough, it starts to cool down, they're not going to be satisfied. It's going to be an unsatisfactory meal because nobody wants a cold meal. Not unless it's served cold specifically. But if it's supposed to be a warm meal, we want them to eat a warm meal. We don't want it to be cold. See, if we keep on with this slow speed of service, people are going to keep spreading the word of, oh yes, all they do is cold food. They're not fast. You're going to be waiting a while. Friends are going to tell their friends, and then their friends are going to mention something. And over time, the inflow of people just coming in to dine with us is going to decrease, and that's going to cut back to a revenue decrease. We need to make our speed of service faster in order to get things moving and to keep our customers happy. A third threat we face can be found just looking back here at John's review. If we read through the review one more time, he states, I ordered a smoked turkey sandwich and macaroni and cheese. The macaroni and cheese was okay. And the smoked sandwich was a disappointment. The Texas toast was burned, and the turkey was flavorless. The barbecue sauce labeled mild was awful. The sign outside the business said barbecue everywhere, but inside, good luck finding it anywhere. The one thing we can take away from that review itself, which is a big threat, is taste. You talk about awful, flavorless, bland. Taste is something a customer will remember. If they don't like it, they're not going to return for it. Think of something you love the taste of. If you didn't like it, you wouldn't want to continue eating it, correct? Same here. If a customer does not like the taste of something, they're not going to want to eat it again. they're not going to return. If we don't improve the taste of our food, customers are not going to be happy and they're not going to want to come back because they're not going to have any satisfaction with the product. And again, dissatisfaction with the product leads to decrease in revenue. One thing companies cannot afford. One thing we cannot afford here at Dunks. We need to make sure we work on the taste, to better improve the satisfactory, and better keep the reputation of the company and the inflow of customers. So as we see here, we have a SWOT analysis chart going over some of our strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So just as a quick recap, as we see in the top left corner, we have our strengths. Some of our strengths include being locally operated and owned. It is close to town, at least less than half a mile walking distance. Student discounts are given for students at the university right next door in high school. There are decent hours for operations during business. They do have a clean dining room and kitchen, and the management is extremely friendly. In the top right corner, we see our weaknesses, one of which is a bad location during heavy traffic hours. There's a lot of other locally owned competition within a mile in all directions, and the menu items are slightly limited. As we look at some of our opportunities, as we covered before, we can look into community outreach options such as fundraising and donations, even catering possibilities. We could also look into franchising to expand the business, and we can look at relocation and or operating 2 stores under 1 owner. And again, some of our threats that we covered before is the lack of customer service capabilities within some employees. We do have slow speeds of service that are negatively impacting the customer experience, and the lack of taste in some options is also leading to unsatisfactory guests. In summary, we looked over some of the good, some of the bad, even some of the ugly reviews. We looked at all the strengths that were addressed by your guest, and we looked at all the weaknesses that were addressed. We found ways to better improve upon our strengths and how to resolve our weaknesses and turn them into strengths. We looked at some possible opportunities to better develop the business name. We also looked at some potential threats which could harm us. All the data that we have right here came from your guests, people that you have interactions with on the daily, because your guests carry so much power when it comes to your name. One bad review could be one customer lost. Your job is to make sure no customers give you a bad review. You need to preserve all the customers that you can keep, because if you give just one bad experience, they can manipulate that experience into a worse scenario and you will lose customers. One bad review is a customer lost. Once again, I reiterate that. Your company needs to thoroughly address the issues we brought up here with all this data, and even some of the other reviews we may not have addressed. One thing I highly recommend, I encourage you to go about, is creating a PR team. This PR team can scroll through these different sites like Yelp. I've seen some reviews through Travelocity. Just scroll through these different sites, read some of the reviews that are posted, and directly communicate with the guests. Don't delay their communication. Try to jump on it as soon as you see these things pop up, because the faster you can address the issue with them, the faster it can get resolved. You may be able to save a customer. If one customer threatens that they don't want to return, find ways to talk to them on there. See if you can try to bring them back in, offer them something. Promise to help resolve the issue, and when they come in, address it with them, resolve the issue there. You may be able to save a customer, and that shows you're taking the initiative to preserve your name and treat your customers right. If other customers, potential customers, actually see this, they're going to have a good name when they think of you, because they see you care about your customers like we care about you. The competition in this field is ruthless. They will stop at nothing in order for them to succeed, even if it means taking down other businesses while they're at it. One thing, if you just increase your community outreach, get out there, put your name out there, mingle with everyone. If you go out there with the community, make yourself just prominent within the community, you'll have that edge over the competition. The people will know who you are better than they would the competition, and in turn, they'll go to you more than them. Just if you get yourself out there, mingle with the community, do things with them, host things with the community, you'll have more of a friendly face. Guests will feel more welcomed and warm around you. They'll want to keep coming back. Your company will start getting that edge over the competition where you will grow and they will fall. You will come out on top in this game. I want to personally say thank you for allowing me to work with your company these past few weeks. Between getting to talk with your staff, read through the reviews here, talk amongst the community, I've learned much more about your small business, and I've learned much more about y'all's small community as a whole. And I can assure you that when I get done with business here, I'll be returning back. I'll be talking to my colleagues about y'all. I will be returning as a patron, and I'll convince them to join me. And again, if y'all need to contact us at any time in the future, you can always get to us at Gusteau2022@gmail.com. You can call us at 487-832-8937, or you can visit our website at Gusteau'sconsulting.com. So as you see here, this is a promotional item we're offering to your team. It is a comfortable gray t-shirt with the logo and slogan for our consulting company here as proof that you had the best come and work for you. The shirts are made of very breathable material. When it's warm outside, they're very breathable, but when it's cool, they're just comfortable. So yes, if you would like any of these shirts for your company, please reach out to us with the contact information we provided on the last slide. Just let us know how many of these you would like and what sizes you would need, and we'd be more than happy to cover getting them out there for you. So once again, we appreciate the opportunity we got to work with y'all. And if you do have any concerns or questions, please feel free to reach out to us at any time, and we will get back to you as soon as possible. And we'd love to even set up a possible follow-up to come back, see the progress y'all have made, and see if there's any other pointers we can offer at the time. So again, thank you very much for your time, and we look forward to seeing and hearing from you in the future. Goodbye.